Connor was, by his own dramatic reckoning, eternally doomed because he was in love. Not ordinary, everyday, she's nice because she lent me a pen love. No, he was besotted, bewitched, and basically broken by Sophie Miller from his form class. Her hair curled in glossy loops that seemed to glow even under flickering classroom lights. Her voice was light and bright, the sound of summer in a sentence. When she smiled, really smiled, he felt the world tilt just a little, as if gravity itself leaned in to look. She moved with a kind of careless confidence that made every small action seem magical. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the way she scrunched her nose when thinking, the way she raised her hand and always seemed to know the answer. Perfection. Absolute, terrifying, unreachable perfection. And that perfection built a wall, a tall, cold, echoing wall that took every waking opportunity to tell him, she will never talk to you, Connor. She will never like you. You're not good enough for her. Connor lived in a constant state of terrified admiration. He worshipped from exactly one desk away, but it might as well have been a distant galaxy. On Saturday afternoon, Connor wandered through the park, kicking a stone ahead of him over and over, pretending it was a tiny planet and he was a god guiding its path. Then he saw her, Sophie, walking her dog, coming straight towards him like destiny wearing trainers. His stomach dropped so sharply it practically made a sound. Anxiety wrapped its fingers around his ribs and squeezed hard. His lungs felt like they were being starved of oxygen. "Hi, Connor," she called, smiling like she actually meant it. Her dog, a fluffy thing that resembled cotton wool on a rope, sniffed the grass around his shoes. Connor opened his mouth. Nothing. His brain flickered like a faulty bulb. "Hi," he managed, except it came out more like "Herm." She tilted her head, concerned. "Are you okay?" "Say something. Anything. Tell her you're fine. Tell her the weather's nice. Tell her dog is cute. Tell her you like her." "No, not that." I tree your dog grass," he mumbled. She blinked twice. He was sinking fast. The more he tried, the worse it got. A jumble of half sentences, nonsense words, and high pitched sounds that didn't belong to any known language. His vocal cords now had more in common with dolphins than with humans. Connor took a step back, desperate to flee before he melted into a puddle of pure humiliation from which he could never escape. "I should, go." And that was when it happened. As Sophie bent down to scoop up her dog, a loud, unapologetic noise erupted. She froze. He froze. The dog sniffed the air. Sophie's face flamed crimson. Oh my, Connor, I swear that wasn't, I mean it was, but my dog. No, not my dog. It was, oh my gosh. But something inside Connor cracked open like a shell breaking. The goddess myth he had created was shattered, and in its place stood a girl, a wonderful, imperfect human girl with a dog and embarrassment leaking from every pore. And suddenly he could breathe, think, speak. "Please don't be embarrassed. I do it all the time," he blurted. Sophie looked worried. I don't mean all the time," he quickly corrected. "What I'm trying to say is that the world seems to be filled with people who take themselves too seriously. They're afraid to be just who they are. I like people who are honest and open and don't pretend to be something they're not. I think you're that kind of person." She stared at him, mortified, vulnerable, intrigued. Sophie's eyes softened, widened. sparkled. She looked at him the way he had always looked at her, as if he were the unreachable one, the perfect one, the one who had, for the first time in her life, said exactly the right thing at exactly the right moment. A curtain had lifted, and suddenly she could see Connor, not as the shy boy who barely spoke, but someone with a kind of dazzling clarity. Every part of him seemed touched with its own quiet perfection. The way his hair didn't fall neatly, but insisted on doing its own messy dance. The small constellation of freckles under his left eye she'd never noticed before. The softness in his smile, warm and gentle like morning light sneaking through curtains. Even the way he shifted nervously from foot to foot seemed endearing. The effect upon her was immediate. Her cheeks burned, her breath fluttered, words tangled like wild vines in her mouth. Yes, well, okay, right, good, she stammered, clutching her dog like a shield. She was flustered. She was floundering. She was impossibly nervous around him. See you Monday, she squeaked. And then she spun and sprinted across the park as if trying to escape her own heartbeat. Connor stood alone beneath the drifting leaves, blinking into the space she had left behind. He had no idea, none, that a throne had quietly risen beneath him, that he had somehow stepped onto a Sophie-made pedestal he had never asked for, never imagined, never knew existed. He scratched his head. Did I say something wrong? The wind curled around him and whispered through the branches. And if he had been listening, truly listening, he might have heard it scolding fate for its endless toying with human emotions.